Hello friends, my name is CA Arun Tiwari, and in this video I am going to tell my NRI friends who are looking to sell their property in India a complete comprehensive guide that how they should approach to sell their property in India, which can save them a lot of taxes, which can speed up the process, and which can, you can say, very simplify the whole process, which is slightly cumbersome otherwise. So friends, if you are an NRI and you are looking to sell your property, please watch this video before you proceed to find a buyer for you, because this can give you a lot of good idea and value addition. So let's start. So friends, the whole process is divided in two parts. First part is the steps you have to take before you identify your buyers, and the second part are the steps which you have to take after you find your buyers. So friends, before we approach the stepwise way of dealing the taxation or tax implication on sale of property in India by NRIs, let's understand a brief about what are the tax implication, various steps tax implication in India once you sell the property as an NRI. Now friends, once you try to sell the property here in India, there is a TDS. TDS is called tax at source and tax deducted at source, which is 22.88% here. So suppose you sell a property of 1 crore, there is you have to your buyer will deduct at least approximately 23% of tax, and they deposit into government account. Of course, you can file your tax return and you can claim as a refund. But why to get into that if there is another provision again from the government, where the government says that if you feel your tax is less than 23%, you can apply for a lower TDS certificate, or if you feel that you are not making any profit, there is no capital gain on sale of the property, then you can simply apply for a 0 or nil TDS as well. But the only thing, this lower TDS or nil TDS application can be made if you be ready for that. Then after that, if you once this property sale is done, if you have kept the property more than 3 years, there is a long-term capital gain, which is again 20% plus education cess plus surcharge, so it's coming approximately 22% something. And if you are just selling property before 3 years, now this term has made 2 years, so then there is short-term capital gain which can go up to 30% plus education cess plus surcharge, which is approximately 33% something. So the friends, this is a brief about tax implication on sale of property, and you can see it's very much on the higher side. So like parting away 23% of your property value is, I think, onerous. Now, so there is lots of you can say things which can be done. Only it can be done if you take those steps before you approach, before you sign an agreement, before you go for registration. Only these things can be done. Only we can save a lot of taxes for you. Now let's start with stepwise procedure. So friends, the step number 1 is, once you decide that you want to sell the property, is consult an expert CA. Now I'm not trying to promote myself or my services, but this is a fact friends. Before you approach a buyer, if you approach a CA, then I think they can give a lot of value addition. Definitely they will charge for some consulting fees, but that will worth. It will save you at least 10-20 times of what the fees you are going to pay to your CA. Now can you approach any CA? The answer is little bit different. See, NRI taxation or international taxation is a specialized branch of taxation, so everybody might not be dealing with it on daily basis. So if some CA who is not dealing with it on daily basis, then there is a chances that they have to work out on that, they have to do study, and it can delay the whole process. We as a firm are doing this from past 3 years and done more than 500 cases on the lower TDS on and we have handled the cases related to NRI property sale, commercial as well as residential, all over India. So we know what are the practical points, what are the latest updates in the provisions, and I think we can take the procedure slightly fast. So I'm not saying that only we can do it, but yes, any expert CA who is dealing with NRI taxation, international taxation, can do it. So if you approach any CA, just ask that if they are dealing with it and when the last time they get this lower TDS, because recently all the lower TDS application has been made online, and there is completely different procedure and different practical way to deal with it. Now This is a step number 1. It's completely ended. Now we are going to go next step, which is transfer your PAN. Now you friends, you might be wondering what exactly it is. See, PAN number, as you know, is the, you can say, alphanumeric number through which income tax identify the taxpayer. And for all the NRI taxpayers or international taxpayers, that jurisdiction or the status generally go to international, you can say, office. So there is a separate office, income tax office, which deals with international cases and NRI cases, which is called international jurisdiction. So to apply for lower TDS, to save your taxes, you have to apply for lower TDS, and to apply for lower TDS, your PAN should be in international jurisdiction, which in some cases, or what I say, it is most of the cases, to my wonder, it is still lying in their local jurisdiction. There can be any reason for that, but the solution is you have to apply immediately for transfer of your PAN number from your local jurisdiction to international jurisdiction. And for that you have to apply, you have to write 2 letters, 1 letter for your existing income tax officer which is in local jurisdiction, and ask him to transfer your PAN to international jurisdiction. Then you have to write another letter to your international jurisdiction income tax officer and ask him to provide NOC, that no objection certificate, to accept that transfer. So these all things can be taken care by your CA, or can be taken by us if you want us to deal with your tax matter in sale of property by NRI. So this is the second steps, and friends, it takes almost 15 days. So if you do it before you identify your buyer, you can save those 15 days, and you can save your deal also, because I have seen some cases, or maximum cases, where the buyer back off when they find out that you are going to take another 45 days just to get a lower TDS certificate. Because once you get into agreement, everyone want to do this transaction faster. Now, what are the next step? After you get your PAN transfer, you have to collect the documents. So friends, for applying lower TDS certificate, there are a lot of documents are required. I will just give you a brief of that. If you want a complete list of documents, you can write it to us. You can send mail to our email ID, or you can send a WhatsApp on our WhatsApp number. Both are mentioned below this video, and we will send you completely the list. There is no problem if you are getting the work done through us or not. It's not a problem. It's a kind of token of help from our side, and we are always ready to do it. So some documents I'm going to tell you in the video. The first is, of course, your PAN number. Second is your property purchase documents. Third documents are support of financing of your property, like the income tax want to know from where you got the money to buy this property. So if you're taken on loan, you will require loan agreement. You will require a bank statement where you can mention all the payment you have made to builder or the previous buyer from where you purchased the property. Third important thing is required, if you bought this property before 2001, you have to get a valuation report, which can be taken from architect, or which can be taken from a stamp valuation authority, which is a stamp duty where you pay the stamp duty. This is a registration authority. You can take these documents. Apart from that, there are some other workout is also required. So these are third important step which you can take before you approach a buyer to sell the property. Now let's go to step number 4. Now friends, of course, the step number 4 is finding a buyer and getting into an MOU, and then asking him to apply for a TAN number. Now once you find a buyer, you definitely have to accept a token money, and after the token money you get into an MOU where initially you agree on terms and condition on which you are going to sell the property to that buyer. This is basically a precursor agreement before you do the agreement for sale. Now once you do the agreement MOU, you have to immediately ask the buyer to get a TAN number. Now friends, don't be confused with the PAN and TAN. Both are different number. PAN is permanent account number, TAN is tax, basically it's a tax account number which is used to pay TDS. So suppose, and why it is important, because until unless you will not get a TAN number, you cannot apply for lower TDS certificate. It's a mandatory. Even in case your computation says it's a 0% TDS, still you have to get the TAN number. So this is step number 4. Now moves to step number 5. Now friends, the step number 5 is the most crucial, is filing online form 13. So we filed form 13 in the form number 27Q which is actually called TDS form. So first you apply in form number 13 online for lower or nil TDS certificate on the income tax department, and whatever the documentation we have got it, we have to upload that document, plus we have to upload the computation stating or supporting our claim that our tax is lower than 23%, or in some cases it can be zero tax. So once you do this, then only the income tax department going to act on it. And friends, most of cases it is delayed because of delay receiving of documents, delay receiving of TAN number. So I'm going to give you a bonus tip to you. So if you're getting into a lower TDS certificate process, try to appoint a same CA for buyer and seller, because if there is a same CA, the process generally happens faster. The process generally doesn't delay due to communication gap. So what you can do, you can ask, you can request your buyer, okay fine, you might have your CA, but just for this purpose we can have a simple single CA, so that the communication, the coordination should not become the issue. So friends, we also offer packages for the buyer compliance as well as the seller compliance, in which we take care end-to-end compliance, start from the property deal to culmination of the property agreement, everything. So it is from starting the consulting to filing the income tax return, everything is taken care for buyer and seller as well. Now next step is of course the getting the certificate. So once you get the certificate, what are the steps you have to take, that we are going to give you in the step number 6. So step number 6 is get the lower or nil TDS certificate. So friends, what you have to do after receiving that certificate, you have to send one copy of that to buyer, and buyer in further going to send it to their bank, and only after receiving this lower TDS certificate, the bank is going to issue or going to disburse the loan amount to you in your bank account. Before that, bank cannot do. This is the provision of income tax. So simply you have to just send, now because it's a digital copy, you receive online on your mail, or you can log in, we will log in and send it to you. Once you receive this copy, you have to send this copy to your buyer. Buyer is going to send to their bank, and once the bank will receive, they will disburse the money into your NRI account. Now the next step number 7, once you receive money and you want to transfer the money, so how to transfer money to your foreign account. So for example, after the selling property, you do not want to invest here, you want to sell the property, you want to send the money to your foreign account, then you have to take a certificate from your CA, which is called form 15 CA CB. And once you receive this, you have to submit that certificate to your bank. Once your bank will receive, then they can transfer that money to your foreign account. The certificate basically meant to state that you have complied with all your tax laws, you have paid taxes if any, you have deposited TDS if any, and then only you can take it. Friends, another point, if after receiving money you don't want to send it back to your foreign country, but you want to further invest here and save taxes, so there are lots of other options which you can use, like you can buy another property and you can save your complete income tax on that, or you can invest into bonds. So there are lots of other things which we'll discuss in a separate video, where I will discuss how you can save your taxes on after selling the property. Here I am assuming you're going to take your money back to your home, your foreign country, so you have to just submit the 15 CACB from after receiving from your CA, give it to your bank, and your bank will transfer. Now the last step, the step number 8 is coming, which is the most crucial and most forgetful step. Generally people forget about it, is filing your income tax return. Friends, once you receive your money, you send your money, your work is not over, your responsibility is not over. You have to file the income tax return next year to stating all the computation that you sold your property and you have done all the compliances, and that will be again done by your CA. The only thing, it is a time gap, so generally people forget. So suppose you sold your property in the month of say September, then you have to file your return in next year in the month of April or after onwards. So don't forget to do that. You can appoint us. So just as I told you, it's a complete package. We'll take care, we'll create a reminder for us, for you also, and we'll file your return once the next year arrives. Once your return is filed, that's over. That's complete the project, complete the mission. You are fully compliant. You should not be worried about any kind of notices and anything. And on the top of that, friends, we provide support also in unfortunate case the income tax department sent you a notice regarding to this transaction. We're going to take care of that also. So friends, that's all we have in this video. I think I have given most of the steps, most of the you can say procedures required, and it is comprehensive as per latest updated income tax law of 2019-20. So if still you want some kind of guidance or consultancy, you're most welcome. In some cases we are going to charge if you have to work out on that, but most of cases if it is a small query or something, we are not going to charge for this. You are most welcome to send your queries. And friends, please consult your CA before you go ahead, because some cases we feel very bad once people come after getting into an agreement, getting registered the agreement, we have nothing much in our hand but just to pay taxes, and there are a lot of other consequences also, like notices, and then handling those notices are not definitely a wonderful experience for you also and for us also, even we get fees for that. So just keep in mind, there is CA Arun Tiwari is ready to help you in all the cases you want to. When you want to sell your property in India, you want to know what is the withheld tax provisions here, you want to know what are the capital gain and how to compute the capital gain on selling property in India, you want to have a kind of checklist for buying or selling property for NRI, we have all these here and we can provide this to you. So I hope this video has served its purpose, and please don't forget to subscribe and send to all these people who might be looking such kind of information, maybe in your group, maybe into your family, friends, colleagues. Please share with them and they will definitely be thankful for you for sharing such wonderful information. That's all folks for this in this video. We'll come back with another video where we are going to share all the question answers, FAQs, which generally we receive on daily basis from the NRI friends related to property sale, and that will cover a lot of other queries, lot of small stuff. So be in touch with us, keep watching our video, keep subscribing, keep sharing, and have a nice day and enjoy your life. Thank you.